Over the last few years, the Inland Empire has become an inland port due to the rapid industrial growth, lower property values, and convenient access to freeways, airports, and rail lines. These factors have made the Inland Empire an ideal location for warehouses, distribution centers, and rail yards. 70% of the millions of ocean freight containers are transported through communities in the Inland Empire to rail yards and warehouses, where they are then distributed to the rest of the country.
Well, we have the issues that we're really focused on right now. Probably the main one is air quality due to goods movement, the movement of goods and products that are imported through our ports in LA and Long Beach. And what that industry is heavily reliant upon diesel fuel. And so we have a great deal of high levels of pollution out here.
In 1998, Santa Fe Rail Yard became BNSF and converted into an intermodal facility. Over the last 20 years, the city of Mira Loma has seen a dramatic increase in the number of warehouses being built around the residential communities. The warehouse expansion in Mira Loma and BNSF Intermodal Rail Yard in San Bernardino has had a direct impact on the health and human rights of local residents. Profit and commercial interest is being put ahead of the health and well-being of predominantly Hispanic working-class families. Although state authorities have the right to impose emission standards, they refuse to enforce them, and in turn local communities are polluted and left unprotected.
I believe as community member, I believe that we have rights. We have rights, and they have been violated. In this community, our houses, they lost value. Our streets are damaged. Our health is really bad.
Pero realmente mi esposa con problemas de asma y pues yo también, que no puedo decir ni media palabra porque ya estoy ahí. Ahorita estoy con la ansiedad de que me está obligando a toser. Entonces, dicen, ¿cómo me quito esto? Y eso es lo malo. Veníamos por una salud, por una vida saludable, y llegamos a pagar un precio que no ni sabíamos. Y como comentaba la compañera Mari, ¿cómo nos movemos? Si tuviera dinero, es más, ni siquiera hubiera llegado aquí, estaría en Beverly Hills. Ahí no hay contaminación, ahí no hay nada de malas cosas, pero aquí sí, o en las zonas, en las montañas, en las zonas altas, me reiría, ¿no? No me importaría, diría, pues ¿cuál contaminación? Aunque de allá arriba se ve el bloque así, la capa de smog, sí que hay, donde está toda la contaminación, y dice uno, allí vivo, allí vivo, ese es el regalo que me tocó.
I've been here since 1971, and we built our home, and on a clear day, we could go up on the hill in back of us and see into Ontario. And now, on a good day, we can see the mountains, but the air is so much worse.
I've been here all my life. I will be 59 in a couple of weeks. And my family was raised here. I live in the house that belonged to my grandmother. My mother was born in the section area. They had section houses here. My mother was born and raised in the area. So the whole family has been exposed to all this. And everybody asks me, how come I don't move? Because my family was born here. I'm close to, I have a tie to the line. And for me, it's like, all they have to do is clean up.
We have, in this community, we have a daycare center here, a community center here, the school. And all of us are impacted. They are taking our lives away. We don't have a good lifestyle here. But what do we do?
Yesterday, we just had unveiled the results of a health study that we were working on with Loma Linda University that found in the elementary school closest to the BNSF rail yard in San Bernardino that the children have a 47% asthma rate. Statewide, it's 15%. Nationwide, it's 9%. And San Bernardino is at 47%. That's totally unacceptable. And why, if that's the kind of health impacts you're seeing, why would our decision makers bring more of that same pollution without demanding that they go to alternative technologies and we get rid of the diesel?
More than 35,000 trains pulled by 4 diesel-powered locomotives travel through the region each year. The majority of the forms of transportation used to distribute goods rely on diesel fuel to operate. In turn, the diesel exhaust pollutes the air and it impacts the communities with the closest proximity to the rail yards. When we think of health, we often think that eating healthy and exercising is sufficient enough to maintain good health. We never stop and think about the air that we breathe and the physiological effects that air pollution has. Particulate matter, also known as PM from rail yards and locomotives, presents a significant public health concern. PM is a mixture of tiny particles and liquid droplets. It is mainly composed of acids, organic chemicals, metals, and soil. The size of these particles is directly linked to causing health problems in humans. Because of their microscopic size, they can easily pass through the throat, nose, and into the lungs, and eventually make their way into the bloodstream. Exposure to PM can result in premature deaths for those with lung and heart problems, asthma, decreased lung function, and cardiovascular problems.
The particulate pollution that comes from trucks and from rail locomotives and from all the cargo handling equipment that they use at the rail yards is essentially something that people shouldn't be breathing.
The Inland Valley has some of the highest particulate pollution in the nation. The World Health Organization is even designated as being the 4th in the world after Jakarta, Calcutta, and Bangkok. So we really are the worst of the worst.
Y ahorita, si ustedes pueden notar, todas mis ventanas están cerradas. Yo sí las abro y tengo esa música que escuchan ahí, que yo no puedo oír esa música porque oigo todo solo el ruido de los camiones. Esa es una que es simple, pero todos padecemos alergia aquí, todos tenemos que usar inhaladores o tenemos que usar spray para, porque en cierto momento en la madrugada ya no puedes respirar. Yeah. Entonces sí, estamos afectados definitivamente. Y afuera, sales afuera, los niños antes podían jugar afuera y todo. Ahorita no se puede porque de repente entran los troques que se equivocan porque piensan que tienen acceso a las bodegas de acá y entran por aquí y ha ocurrido que han tumbado árboles o aquí enfrente de mi casa tengo las pompas de las tomas de agua para los bomberos, también han chocado con ellos y ahí está el chorro de agua abierto, o sea, es peligroso también que los niños anden afuera, o sea que de muchas maneras estamos muy afectados, sí.
There is a dismissal of the fact that these industries need to take responsibility for the way that they operate. And they can, but they refuse to because it's not financially profitable. It makes more sense to them to put that cost of doing business onto their neighbors.
On this side, we have Omnitrans. Omnitrans have 60,000 gallons of natural gas. So if any accident happens, 8 miles will disappear. But who cares about it? We are in the west side. Only Hispanics, only African American, who cares?
Placing industrial uses next to homes is a very deliberate, decisive decision that you're going to pollute those families. In 1984, we came across a report called the Sorrell Report. It was done for the state of California, and it provided a profile of what community is the easiest to site major facilities, polluting facilities, landfills, incinerators, garbage dumps. And what it did was outline communities that truly are the most vulnerable. So in other words, pick on those who can't. We began organizing, first of all, to educate ourselves, raise awareness, and then to solve our local problem of stopping the exposures we were getting, and then ultimately to change public policy. We decided it was necessary to establish a people's institution where communities could come and kind of get a head start on the issues.
CCEJ was able to get funding to buy high efficiency filters to protect the students while they are inside the school. And these are the simple filters that they use, like a regular filters in in all the schools. I don't want to say nothing about it, but this is just like a piece of paper. And with this one, we know that it sounds like a commercial, but it's really, it's going to be really helpful for the students.
Another area that we're looking at is truck routes, to keep the trucks away from where homes are and schools are. And we know the closer you are to diesel source, the greater the health risk. So it makes sense, let's keep the diesel sources away from families. And so we've been able to enact a number of truck routes that will do that and keep the diesel trucks away from where the families are. One of the big functions within CCEJ is our leadership development, bringing people to the table, discovering what their innate skills and talents are, what their lived experiences are, what they've learned over their lifetimes, develop them to their full potential, and unite them in a way that helps them to fight back.
One of them is the A-Team, and that is an action team that is composed of several community members that want to participate and be more involved with us. Part of the A-Team, what they do is they track the levels of pollution. They even do truck counting, and they use a machine, a device known as a P-Track. And it's a pretty advanced machine, and it tells them exactly what levels of pollution are in that area wherever they're located. Another program that we have is the PAT team, the Policy Action Team. And through this program, the community members are now able to voice their opinion even louder in ways that they're heard even council meetings, community meetings, and they're able to educate themselves more about what's happening with the policy part of this and how they can begin to create changes within their community. We don't know that our health is at a higher, it's costing us a lot more because of the high levels of pollution that is being produced by these polluting agencies such as BNSF. We've demanded and requested and asked in several shapes and forms for them to meet us halfway, to compromise, to think about the human rights that we also have. And over again, they choose to ignore us. We're going to continue to press on by creating additional programs, by continuing to find different ways to get the community involved, by coming out here and letting our voices be heard.
As community members, it is our duty to come together and to shine light on the damaging effects that these corporations are having on human health and on the environment. We need to demand better air quality and insist that corporations clean up the mess they've made and stop polluting our communities. We can make them take responsibility for their actions if we work together and educate ourselves and others about our rights as human beings. It's our responsibility to keep our air clean, and it starts by putting our foot down and letting them know that we've had enough.